Hello and welcome. I'm losing my voice and it's getting pretty rough, but I held off on recording this for a full day, hoping that my voice would get better, and it really hasn't. So we're just going to go ahead and record it as it is. Today's episode, I'm all out of sorts because of it. I can hear my voice and I hate it. Today's episode is episode 17, A Saved Copy. So, the case number for this one is CAT2RC114-3011997-04042024. Definitely some dates thrown in there, as we've seen in the last couple of them. Then with doppelganger interdimensional / murder. I have a lot of thoughts about this episode. I really like this episode. I wish my voice wasn't giving out on me this episode, but I really enjoyed this one. This one has a lot of ramifications for other people dimension hopping into this dimension, I'm assuming. Now, we don't know if Freddy can pick up cases, as it were, from multiple dimensions or not. Right now we feel like it's probably just this one, but we don't know that. It could be that he's able to pick up statements from other dimensions, because that's what this is. This is a statement. Yes, it's given in the form of a case from Freddy, but this is a statement from somebody physically talking to people from the Magnus Institute, and that somebody's a man named Darion. Before we get into that, though, Celia wakes up on the train tracks again, this time with a train coming towards her. That's a problem. There's definitely something going on, and I feel like it's tied into the meditation, as it were, that Darion does at Dr. Dumfries' office. I feel like there's something tying in there, because Celia says at the end it isn't the same. And it's not the same, but it definitely seems like something happens where she wakes up somewhere she shouldn't be. And that's exactly what we see happen to Darion here. But it's not quite the same. So she's hunting for, and it's probably why she went to Oxford and canceled her date with Sam, because she's hunting for more information. Or she woke up on a train track in Oxford. Actually, now that I say that, I didn't think to check the transcript to see where it says that was. Does it say? No, just train tracks, afternoon, clear, Celia's phone. Okay, so my guess then is she probably went to Oxford trying to find clues because of a statement like this, or maybe that was just a lie and she didn't go to Oxford at all, and it was just that she had woke up there and was in a rush. Either way, something is happening to people, and either when they dream or when they enter a state where their mind is open, as it were, to be able to be snatched up by something, it seems like. Because Darion, it feels like he just meditated. When he woke up, he was somewhere else. And he didn't know what was going on. And he had been drained in some way. We're just getting the case, I guess. Because the other thing here is Sam and Celia talking. And Sam being, kind of upset that Celia stood him up. But then Celia promising to make it up to him. And it seems like Sam's going to be okay. He does mention that he's not a big horror fan, and I got bad news for you, buddy. But when we get into the actual case on candidate PD 553, who Darion, right, as we come to find out, it's a statement that he made to the Oxford Outreach Center for the Magnus Institute. And it's not a statement that it seems like he made willingly, as we find out from further on into the episode. It seems like they found him. But it is effectively the statement of someone transporting dimensions, hopping dimensions, and meeting themselves. And through a series of events, they become that person. In a weird way, in a very cool and strange way, it's almost like a reverse not them, right? Except it's not coming from, as far as we can tell, this person still seems like Darion. It doesn't seem like he changed and became a monster or anything like that. It seems like he just took his other's place, his alternate, as it were, took his place, right? And in every other media, basically, where that happens, they're malicious, right? It is, in Mandela Catalog, they're malicious, demonic in some form. In Magnus Archives, it's the not them, and it is definitely malicious, working with the stranger. But here, it feels like he just got dropped over there. But something definitely happened to him, because when he went to meditate in Dr. Dr. Dumfrey's office, he woke up in a shopping center with a sign for the Magnus Institute at the Oxford Outreach Center. Which reality did he come from? Did he come from the one that we know of in archives, or was it a different one? Either way, something else had happened to him, because it says that he has paper-thin arms as if they were old and worn, and a swollen belly. Did he become a host to something and just didn't know? Was he already overweight, but somehow he kept that weight? It's hard to say. From there, the hospital sends him off because they can't find any good contacts for him. He tries to call his job at the quarry, and they don't answer because there is no quarry there because he's in a different dimension now. He meets himself. He meets another version of himself, I should say. And this other Darion seems to be an upstanding member of society. And at first they think that they're maybe half-brothers, right? Come to find out that they can't be half-brothers because their dad... I'm so sorry. I'm trying so hard here. Their dad isn't... It can't be the same person, even though it is the same person, because the dates don't line up for when he died. He would be in the hospital undergoing surgery for his tumor at the same day as his funeral, which doesn't obviously work. They hit it off super well. And the maid, Sharon, the housekeeper, the housekeeper, Sharon, she's not happy about what's going on here. And it seems like she is afraid that he's going to turn on her. And at first I thought it was because the other Darion was seeing him as Darion, but everybody else was seeing him as a monster, that he actually was like a not them or like an anglerfish or something, you know? But what actually seems to be happening is that this other Darion is just a terrifying person. And the maid, the housekeeper, knows there is a difference. I know I keep hammering down, there is a difference. The housekeeper knows that the person she works for, her employer, has an out. She doesn't know if this one does, right? And so she's terrified. And why wouldn't she be, right? If all of a sudden I showed up to work and there were two of me, the people that I work with would probably just leave. They would probably just run, honestly. There does not need to be two of me in this world. But it's really interesting the way that the two of them hit it off, because they do understand each other. And it seems at first like the other Darion is just the nicest guy in the world, right? You come to find out he's fallen just in line with their dad, and he keeps someone locked up in the basement at the bottom of a stairwell for him to take his anger out on. And we get a really powerful, I think, scene of, even though they're the same person, they've had different experiences. So they're not, right? They may share the same name, they may share the same face, they may share the same past for the most part, but they have had different life experiences, and that memory is what makes them different people. We are who we believe ourselves to be. Ego is a big part, the id, right? It's very, very important to us as people, and even though they are the same person, their egos are different. And so the other Darion tries to take him downstairs so he can take his anger out on this guy too, and he'll be the first person to finally understand. He can't do it. And he winds up, when the other Darion gets angry at him, he winds up shoving him. And just the way it says that he keeps like locked eyes with him as he falls, just the anger burning in him of that disappointment that has turned to rage, that has turned to hate, of I finally had someone who could understand me and now they have turned against me too. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And so then he probably could have saved the other Darion, though how that would have turned out, who knows. And he might have been able to save the person that Darion kept trapped down there. There's also a really nice line here that makes it seem like his dad did the exact same thing to people. But to join his dad down in the fluorescent light down there. But he doesn't. He can't bring himself to go down the stairs. And so he becomes Darion for 4 years. And I feel like there's going to be some people that are like, oh, so it was the dad down there, and he was just taking his anger out on Dad. Well, no, we're specifically told in both situations, Dad's funeral and the tumor that killed Dad. And the person downstairs is still alive. This is not Dad. This is the kind of thing Dad taught them to do. And just the idea of, again, in a weird way, it's like the not them. But he's like, yeah, you know, I'm better than he was, right? I pay taxes. I pay his taxes. I pay taxes. I give to charity. I sent Sharon on a extended vacation. And then the realization of, well, she's the one who tipped you off, right? And I didn't mention this before with it, but the fact that this version of Darion had gotten anger management classes, and they do seem to help. In a really cool call out here, when this Darion finds out that Sharon is the one that spilled the beans, not mad. Oh, of course, she's the one who tipped you off, isn't she? Yeah, I thought so. Just, it seems in a weird way like the anger management classes worked, which is great. But also, this is a really, really cool statement. This is a wonderful case because, again, it opens up the door so much more. I'm already positive that Celia has dimension hopped. We know now that Darion has dimension hopped. Mowbray could smell it on Celia, which leads me to believe that some of the avatars or entities or whatever versions of things we have now, especially some of the what do they call them for the OIR? It slipped my mind completely. Externals. The externals might even be, some of them might even be specifically tasked to hunt those down. We don't know yet, but it definitely seems like it could be happening to more people. And Darion even says in his statement that he wonders if it happened to the other guy that was in the office and the really nice secretary guy, the nerdy guy, and the big quiet guy. Immediately made me think of John and Martin. But, you know, did it happen to them as well? And then, I guess you wouldn't tell me even if I asked. And then we wrap this whole episode up with Celia saying it isn't the same, of course, as we mentioned earlier, and Gwen trying to fix Alice's computer. She's clearly no Colin, right? She's not as good as Colin at this by far. And Gwen, when Alice is like, well, Celia said she saw Colin running around somewhere, Gwen is like, impossible. He hasn't been here for weeks. And they almost talk. Gwen and Alice both almost open up to each other, but then they don't. And I'm afraid that is going to be the big tragedy of this season, is that one of the two of them is going to die, and that they were so close to being able to get past their distaste of each other to actually either being friends or more. And it's just not going to happen. You know, it's going to be right on the cusp of that, and one of them is going to die. But absolutely incredible episode. Opens up a ton of options for more dimension hoppers, for more options there, for more alternates, for more doubles, for more doppelgangers, right? And then just the callous, casual murder at the end. Just, yeah, so I pushed him. Just, ugh. I know that's not quite how he said it, but that's how it felt to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm really excited for this. We're 3 episodes away from a break and the half season end for season 1, and I cannot tell you how much I'm loving this season. The last couple episodes have all been spectacular, but this episode just really hit for me. At one point, I looked over it because when I record these, I have my Word document up, my Google document up for typing everything out, not sponsored. And then I have the Word document up of the transcript, and then I have the episode playing on the third monitor. And at one point, about like halfway through this episode, I looked over thinking we must be almost done. This episode's been too good. It must be about over. And saw that we still had another half to go. And I was like, heck yeah. Awesome. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm so sorry if my voice ruined this one for you. I waited, and even then it didn't matter. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And until next time, I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always share the full spectrum. The Magnus Protocol has to offer.